Hi, my name is John Conan, Superintendent of Stevensville School District. This presentation is about a renewal for a technology levy. There will be a vote on May 5th, 2026 coming up. Mail-in ballots are on their way April 15th. We'll be talking about an overstory and get you to understand a little bit more about all the technology that is in our schools, and then the understory and how it's all paid for. We'll talk about the vision for 10 years down the road for that renewal for the future. We definitely have a need. We'll give a recommendation, and we have an ask for you for the investment and talk a little bit about the impact it will have on our stakeholders. We will also be taking questions and feedback all the way through until May 5th. Let's get started. After missing the bus and coming from the winter chill, the secretary notices a fifth grader she recognizes on the camera, who is showing up to school an hour after school starts. As he walks into the classroom, he's welcomed by a substitute teacher. The fifth grader arrives in the middle of an English language arts lesson, sees that the substitute teacher was doing a direct instruction lesson from the New Line board, and also gives the substitute his lunch count. The fifth grader is worried about missing the first portion of the lesson as his grade hasn't been good since his parents last checked. Once the lesson ends, the substitute teacher looks ahead to the next lesson and realizes she doesn't have the login information needed to access the video content. She quickly messages the classroom teacher to request access. After doing the hands-on portion of the ELA lesson, the fifth grade student grabs his Chromebook as he knows the routine. The next portion of the lesson is tailored to each individual student using the online platform IXL. At the same time, the fifth grader notices that the Title I teacher is pulling students to assess their reading skills with some sort of assessment on the title teacher's laptop. The fifth grader also sees a custodian cleaning up after a student is sick on the floor. This is just another day in the life of a fifth grader. You can pause this video right now and make a list of all the technology you heard in the story. If you didn't pause, take a look. Here are all of the different types of software and platforms that we use in this story. We had student that was arriving late, and we have bus routing software that we use called Edulog. We also had to hire a substitute teacher as well as managing the teacher that was going to be gone. We use software called Frontline. We also use the Frontline for time and attendance. On top of that, we were teaching an ELA lesson. Our ELA curriculum, English Language Arts, is Amplify curriculum. You also heard that a title teacher was using the M-Class assessment platform to assess a student on her laptop. Also, all of these people that were working in the school need to be paid. And we also have an absence tracker since you heard that teacher was gone. We use the software called Black Mountain Software. On top of it, we have one platform we use K through 12 to collect data on student learning all throughout the year. We have 3 tests a year, and we can check from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year to the end of the year to check for growth. And all students use it, ELP through 12th grade. It's called IXL. You also heard that we were using different types of communication, and we use Google for that. And whether it's Workspace or Voice, those are pieces that we use continuously for curriculum instruction assessment and organization and communication. Also, you heard that the school was warm, and we have a electro system, it's called, and it controls the temperature throughout our whole district. On top of that, you heard about a custodian that was in cleaning up after a student who was sick. And our district is quite large, actually, on one campus. We have over 1,000 students, and so we have a work ticket system where a staff member can put in a work ticket for any type of incident that needs to be cleaned up or fixed, and that's called School Dude. You also heard that students were on Chromebooks. Again, we don't put students on Chromebooks all day long. We do use it, though, to help, especially like this in this scenario, where they had tailored instruction to their level using IXL. You also heard again that the title teacher had a laptop, so it is the classroom teacher. So we definitely have hardware that they use. And then on top of that, they can connect their laptops to a New Line board where you can show students on that New Line board, which looks like a big TV, but it's actually a monitor that connects to our laptops and Chromebooks. In addition, the student came in late, so there was an attendance issue, and parents can check grades anytime. So that Infinite Campus piece is a platform that we use to collect almost all information that we have on students for time, attendance, grades, a lot of different things. And so those are the pieces that are in this story. Now, that $75,000 that we have currently for a tech levy doesn't pay for all of it. In fact, it only pays for the bottom portion of just this list. Obviously, the list is a lot longer on the top for the general fund, because we pay close to $400,000 on different types of platforms across the whole district. And right now we have a tech levy that's $75,000 in each district, and it pays for these bottom portion. And so we're taking money out of the general fund and having to pay for these other platforms. So we are cognizant all the time whenever we add a new platform or look at a platform, we look at is it something that we can do without? Because as we know, that general fund affects teacher salary, affects classroom instruction materials and curriculum, and what we can do with our students. And so this is unfortunately kind of a never-ending problem that school systems will have with technology, as well as state and federal reporting. There are lots of these systems that we have to have in place in order to report to the state and federal government. So again, this is not a new levy, but it's a renewal for the future. Our current levy, again, is $75,000 each district, or $150,000 total. Typically, we spend the levy on the following types of software, from our website to hardware rotation to being able to have an Infinite Campus and our heating system. These types of systems are all needed, and that's why they're paid for with this $75,000. And so when we look at how much money we actually need for all of the platforms that we have, that's the difficult part of trying to envision where we're going to be from 10 years from now. So that's why we have this need for a hardware rotation, which we have. We have laptops and Chromebooks. Again, the hardware is a small portion of what we actually pay for, according to all of the other platforms that we use. Somewhere right around 15 to 18% of all of our technology-based pieces that can be paid for with a technology levy. But we do have a laptop Chromebook rotation. It's about every 5 years. That's kind of the industry standard for laptops and Chromebooks, is about 5 to 6 years. Then they stop being supported by the company. And so we have to rotate those out. And so we purchase right now 1/5 of all of our laptops and Chromebooks each year. So we keep that rotation going, so we never have to purchase a whole bunch in any one year. Also, smart boards last about 10, or new line boards last about 10 years, so we have a rotation for those as well. And then obviously we have servers and printers and wiring that go with this hardware part, as well as a plethora of different software, from curriculum instruction and assessment to our business office platforms and organizational software pieces, as well as making sure that we need to keep investing in tech support and helping support our staff with the technology that we have. We have a company we use called K-12 Montana. It's a third-party company that comes in to help support us, because we only have one tech person. We have one tech director for the whole district, and then we use this company to come in and help support us. So our tech director isn't even paid for out of technology money. They paid for out of the general fund. And so you can kind of see the need a little bit even more for investing in this tech levy. And also we use other third-party companies to help support us in several different areas, from our security systems with cameras, as well as our door system. So we do have a recommendation. That recommendation is $250,000 in each district. It seems like a lot because it's a total of $500,000. But when you actually look at how much it is, let's start with a $3,000 home, because no one has a $100,000 home. In a $300,000 home, we're asking you for, if you live in the elementary district, only $2.08 per month more. If you live in the high school district, we're asking for $1.56, for a total of $3.64 a month more from what you are currently paying. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, it looks like a little more manageable for what we're investing in our students. So again, that impact, what we're currently investing is $2.50, while the high school district voters are currently investing $1.87 on a $100,000 home. We're asking for investing that combined at $4.37. But the future investing that we're asking for could total $14.57 or $10.20 more per month, depending if you live in the elementary district or elementary and high school district. One thing that we haven't talked about, though, is that the elementary bond is coming off the June tax rolls this June. So that's also going to help with taxes. And so you're not going to see those large amount of money per month, because when that comes off, you're only going to notice possibly $4.63 more per year on that $100,000 home if you live in the elementary and high school district. So that bond coming off will help taxes as we move forward. So with that, there are some unfortunate consequences if that levy fails. And so we will be looking at cutting different types of curriculum platforms and business office software, and cutting back our IT support and possibly staffing in our schools. As we know, a little over 85% of our general fund budget comes from staffing. And lastly, we'll look at how our recycle plan for laptops and Chromebooks is going to be affected. We're going to have to make cuts to that, unfortunately. And then if that levy, if it continues and we can't get a levy passed, year 2 and year 3 look a little bit more difficult to take, because we're looking again at more staff and classroom supplies and instructional pieces, and looking at going down on our hardware and software across the board. So it's not a great picture to look as we move forward. So this is an investment that we're asking our community to take part in. Again, I'm not telling you how to vote. I am telling you to vote on May 5th and fill out hopefully your ballot before then. Ballots will be coming out after April 15th. Again, we ask you to invest in Stevensville students. Thank you.